It was 2:51 a.m. on a chilly October night in Evergreen Heights, a quiet suburb where maple trees lined the streets and porch lights stayed on like silent guardians. Eleanor Hayes, 72 years old, silver hair pinned neatly even in sleep, had always been a light sleeper. 35 years as a social worker, then 10 more volunteering at the women's shelter, had trained her ears to catch the smallest sound of distress. Her phone vibrated harshly on the nightstand. She reached for it without hesitation. "Auntie Eleanor, please, help me." The voice was Zara's, her niece, 28, living right next door in 4B. Zara, with her gentle laugh and balcony full of geraniums. Zara, who always said we're fine even when her eyes said otherwise. He hit me again. Worse tonight. He cut his own hand with the broken bottle, called the police, told them I attacked him. "They're arresting me, Auntie." They believe him. Eleanor was already out of bed, pulling on her cardigan over her nightgown, slipping into sensible shoes. "I'm coming. Stay on the line. Breathe, child. I'm coming." She didn't wait for the elevator. She took the stairs, heart pounding not from age but from rage. Marcus Hale, Zara's fiancé, 35, real estate developer with the $1 million smile and the handshake that closed deals. The man the whole building called such a catch. The man Eleanor had watched from her window for 2 years, charming in daylight, cold in the dark. She drove the 20-minute route in 11, ignoring every red light. The precinct glowed like a cold beacon under sodium lamps. Inside, the air smelled of stale coffee and fear. A young officer, Patel, looked up from the desk. "Ma'am?" "Zara Khan. My niece. I want to see her. Now." He checked the screen. "She's in holding." Complainant, Mr. Hale, filed first. Came in with a deep laceration on his hand. Said she came at him with broken glass during an argument. Eleanor leaned forward, voice low and steady. "Did you examine her injuries? Take photographs? Or did you just take his word because he wore a suit and spoke calmly?" Patel shifted. Protocol says." "Protocol," Eleanor repeated, the word tasting like ash. "I spent 40 years making sure protocol protected the right people. Take me to her." They led her down the hall. Zara sat in a small gray room, wrists cuffed, one eye swelling shut, lips split, arms wrapped tight around her ribs. When she saw Eleanor, the tears came hard. "Auntie," Zara stumbled forward. Eleanor caught her, held her like she was 5 years old again. Under the harsh light, Eleanor gently lifted Zara's sleeve. Bruises bloomed in layers, fresh purple, fading yellow-green, finger marks like cruel bracelets around her wrists. An old burned scar peeked from under a thin silver bangle, cigarette, months ago. "How long, Zara?" Eleanor whispered. "Since the engagement," Zara sobbed. "It started with words. Then control. Money. Friends. Then, this. Tonight he smashed a vase. I tried to leave." He grabbed the shard, sliced his own palm deep, smiled at the blood, and said, "Now you're finished." Called 911 himself. Told them I was hysterical. They looked at him, calm, bleeding, respectable, and looked at me, crying, shaking, and chose him. Eleanor's jaw tightened. She turned to Officer Patel in the doorway. "Uncuff her. Get the paramedics. Full exam. Photos. Every mark. And I want statements from every neighbor in our building who's ever heard anything." Patel hesitated. "Mr. Hale knows Captain Reynolds. They golf together. He donated to the—" "I don't care who he golfs with," Eleanor said, voice like iron. "I care who's bleeding. Do it." As paramedics arrived, Eleanor stepped into the hall. Through the glass of the interview room, she saw Marcus, bandaged hand, suit barely wrinkled, leaning back, telling officers, "She's been under a lot of stress. I was defending myself. I love her." Their eyes met. For one heartbeat, his mask cracked, pure venom. Then the charming smile returned. Eleanor didn't flinch. Back with Zara, the paramedic spoke quietly, multiple contusions in different stages of healing. 2 cracked ribs, old injury. Ligature marks on wrists. This isn't one night. This is years. Evidence. Finally, Eleanor pulled out her phone and texted the building group chat she'd quietly created months ago, just in case emergency. Zara in police custody. Marcus filed false assault claim. If you've heard screaming, banging, crying, come to the precinct now. She needs us. Within minutes, replies flooded in. Mrs. Ramirez, on my way. Mr. Chen, I have video. Coming. Others, we're sorry. We're coming. Eleanor held Zara's hand as they waited. This ends tonight, child. The walls have ears. And tonight they're finally going to speak. But Eleanor knew the real battle was just beginning. Gray dawn crept over the precinct as the first neighbors arrived. Mrs. Evelyn Ramirez, 68, retired schoolteacher from 3A, clutching her coat tight. Mr. Leonard Chen, 55, accountant from 5C, carrying a USB drive. 3 more families followed, people who'd waved at Zara every morning, complimented her flowers, pretended the noises were nothing. Eleanor met them in the lobby. Thank you, she said simply. She needs you now. Mrs. Ramirez's eyes were red. We felt guilty for so long. We called the police 3 times in the past year. Each time Marcus answered the door smiling. Everything's fine, officers. Just watching a loud movie. They left. We stopped calling. Thought we were overreacting. Mr. Chen nodded. I saw her with a black eye last spring. She said she fell off a ladder hanging curtains. I knew it was a lie. But he was always so polite. Donated to the block party. Seemed perfect. Eleanor led them to Officer Patel. These people are witnesses. Take full statements. Every detail they remember. While statements were taken, Zara was examined. X-rays confirmed, 2 old rib fractures, never treated. The doctor shook her head. This is coercive control. Textbook. In the interview room, Marcus laughed softly with a detective he knew. She's dramatic. Always has been. I just want to help her. But the tide turned. Mrs. Ramirez spoke first. I lived directly below. Every Thursday, his date night, we heard banging. Zara begging, please stop. Glass shattering. Then silence. Once I heard him say clear as day, scream again and I'll make sure no one believes a word you say. Mr. Chen, my doorbell camera caught him dragging her by the arm into the apartment last April. She was crying. I saved the clip. Timestamped. One by one they added pieces, dates, times, words. A woman from 2B, he cornered me in the elevator once. Made an advance. When I said no, he got cold. I think he chose Zara because she was kind. Easy to isolate. Patel's face grew grim as he typed. The picture formed, not a single bad night, but 2 years of systematic terror. Eleanor slipped into Captain Reynolds' office. Captain. You know Marcus. But you also know me. 40 years helping women like Zara. Look at these statements. Look at the medical report. Reynolds rubbed his temples. This is delicate. Hale has friends. His friends don't have cracked ribs, Eleanor said quietly. Play the statements for him. They did. Marcus listened. His smile faded. Neighbors gossip. They didn't see anything. They heard, Eleanor replied. And one has video. His bandaged hand trembled. Zara was released on Eleanor's recognizance, no charges filed yet. They drove home in silence. Zara stared out the window. What if he comes back, Auntie? He won't touch you again, Eleanor promised. Not if we finish this. At the building, neighbors waited in the lobby. They hugged Zara one by one. We're sorry, one whispered. We should have spoken sooner. Zara cried. You're speaking now. That's what matters. But Marcus struck back that afternoon. His lawyer, a high-priced firm, sent letters threatening defamation suits if neighbors spoke publicly. He posted online a subtle victim narrative. Praying for my fiancé. Mental health is real. Grateful for support. Sympathy comments poured in. His golf buddies rallied. Eleanor sat with Zara that night. He's trying to rewrite the story. Zara showed her phone. I have more, Auntie. I recorded when I could. Voice notes. Hidden in a fake calculator app. She played one, Marcus's voice, low and cruel. If you leave, I'll send everything to your boss. Your family. Everyone. You'll be nothing. Eleanor's eyes hardened. This is gold. Federal level, extortion, revenge threats. But Marcus wasn't finished. Anonymous messages started arriving at Zara's job. She's unstable. Fire her. Her boss stood firm. We believe you, Zara. The neighbors formed a private group chat, Justice for Zara. They began collecting every memory, every text she'd ever sent in panic. Then the bombshell, Zara's college friend called from across the country. I saved every email she sent me 2 years ago. Every time she confided. I have screenshots. More proof. Marcus's perfect life was cracking. But in the shadows, he was planning something worse. 3 days after Zara's release, the apartment building felt different. Doors stayed cracked open longer. Neighbors nodded with purpose instead of polite smiles. Eleanor had turned the lobby into an unofficial war room, coffee, notepads, phones charging. She moved slowly but deliberately, her silver hair catching the light like a quiet crown. Zara barely left Eleanor's apartment. She slept on the pull-out couch, woke gasping from nightmares of Marcus's voice. He's going to come back, Auntie. He always said no one would believe me. Eleanor poured tea, chamomile, the way Zara liked it since she was little. Belief isn't given. It's taken. And we're taking it now. Officer Patel called that afternoon. We need more. The captain's dragging his feet, says Hale's lawyer is threatening a lawsuit against the department for biased investigation. But the neighbor statements are strong. If you have anything else. Zara looked at Eleanor, eyes wide. She pulled her phone from under the pillow. I have recordings. I never told anyone. Not even you. She opened a disguised app, calculator icon, passcode protected. Inside, dozens of voice memos, timestamped over 18 months. Zara played the first one. Marcus's voice, low and venomous, you think anyone's going to believe you over me? I'm the one who pays the bills, the one everyone respects. You're nothing. Scream again and I'll make sure your family thinks you're crazy. A slap. A choked sob. The recording cut off. Eleanor's hand tightened on her teacup. How many? Over 100. Some short, some long. I started after the first time he choked me. I hid the phone in my bra. Sometimes under the pillow. I thought, if I ever got out, I'd need proof. They listened to more. One from 6 months ago, glass breaking, Zara begging, please, Marcus, the neighbors will hear. His reply, let them hear. They'll never do anything. They're scared of me. Another, if you leave, I'll send the photos. The videos. Your boss. Your cousins back home. You'll be ruined forever. Revenge porn. Blackmail. Federal crimes. Eleanor stood. We take this to Patel. Today. At the precinct, Patel listened in a small conference room. His face went from professional to horrified. This is admissible. Victim in reasonable fear for safety, one-party consent state. Captain Reynolds joined halfway. He listened to 3 clips. When the third ended, Marcus threatening to end it all if Zara ever spoke, he rubbed his face. Jesus. I golfed with this guy last month. Eleanor met his eyes. Golf doesn't erase cracked ribs. Reynolds exhaled. We'll move on the recordings. But Hale's lawyer is already filing motions, says the recordings are edited, invasive, illegal. Eleanor smiled thinly. Let him try. Truth doesn't edit itself. That evening, Marcus struck online again. A carefully worded post on his business page, facing personal challenges. Grateful for friends who know the real me. Mental health matters. Comments flooded, support from colleagues, clients, even a local councilman. Zara's hands shook. They're turning me into the villain. Eleanor took her phone. Not for long. The next morning, Zara's college best friend arrived from out of state, carrying a USB drive. Every email, every panicked message she sent me since 2023. Screenshots. Timestamps. She told me everything but begged me not to tell. More proof. Then the elevator woman from 2B confessed, he tried the same charm on me years ago. When I rejected him, he spread rumors I was unstable. I moved floors. I think he targeted Zara because she was softer. Pattern emerging. Eleanor gathered the neighbors again. We're not just witnesses anymore. We're the wall he can't break. But Marcus wasn't idle. That night, Zara received an anonymous text, drop it or the videos go public. You know what I have? Zara froze. He recorded me, without me knowing. In the shower. Sleeping. He said it was insurance. Eleanor's voice was calm steel. Then we get a warrant. His apartment. His devices. Everything. Patel called back at midnight. Judge signed it. We go in tomorrow. Eleanor looked at Zara. This ends soon. But deep down, she knew predators like Marcus never go quietly. The raid happened at 6:45 a.m., quiet, professional, no lights flashing. 4 officers, Patel leading. Eleanor insisted on being there as Zara's guardian and witness coordinator. The judge allowed it. Marcus's apartment, sleek, modern, cold. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Leather furniture that cost more than most people's rent. Everything spotless, like a stage set. They started in the office. Password-protected laptop. Patel tried birthdate, nothing. Anniversary, nothing. Eleanor remembered Zara mentioning once, he's obsessed with his company. Try Hale Developments 2020, it unlocked. Hidden folder, no name, just a symbol. Inside, photos. Zara in the shower. Zara sleeping. Zara changing. All covert. Timestamped during fights. More folders, hacked medical records from Zara's doctor. Emails spoofed to make her look unstable. Job performance reviews altered. And videos. Intimate ones. Early in the relationship. Clearly non-consensual later use. Emails to his lawyer, if she talks, mental health angle. I've got material to discredit her completely. Complicity. In a locked drawer, printed screenshots of Zara's private messages. Blackmail drafts. One word and these go to everyone. Patel photographed everything. This is felony level. Extortion. Non-consensual intimate images. Cyberstalking. They seized the laptop, hard drives, phones. Marcus was arrested at his downtown office, mid-meeting with investors. Handcuffed in front of stunned colleagues. No charming smile now. Just shock. At the station, interrogation began. He started strong, this is outrageous. She's unstable. The recordings are fake. Then they showed him stills from his own laptop. He went pale. That's private. Patel, private blackmail isn't private. Marcus slumped. I panicked sometimes. She provoked me. Fragments of confession. Bail hearing, denied. Flight risk. Danger to victim. Community threat. Zara cried in Eleanor's arms that night. It's real. He's not getting out. Eleanor held her. Not yet. Trial next. But Marcus's family hired the best defense attorney in the state, slick, expensive, ruthless. Online smears intensified, fake accounts posting Zara's history of lies. Doctored photos. Trolls harassing neighbors. One neighbor backed out, scared of retaliation. Eleanor called a building meeting. He wants us divided. We stay together. Then the breakthrough, an ex-girlfriend saw the news. Called anonymously. He did the same to me. Videos. Threats. I ran. Changed my name. I'll testify. 2 more followed, women from his past. All silenced by fear. All with similar stories. 5 victims total. Federal charges added, revenge porn distribution threats, interstate stalking, wire fraud. Marcus's business deals collapsed. Friends vanished. Zara started therapy. Bruises faded. Nightmares lessened. Eleanor sat on the balcony one evening, watching the sunset. We're winning, Zara. But the trial loomed. And trials could still fail. The courtroom smelled of polished wood and tension. Every seat filled, reporters, activists, survivors, neighbors. Zara walked in beside Eleanor, head high, wearing a simple blue dress Zara's mother had sent from overseas. Prosecutor Aisha Reynolds, no relation to the captain, presented like a surgeon, recordings first. Zara's hidden voice memos filled the room, slaps, threats, sobs. Jurors' faces hardened. Medical photos projected, layered bruises, old burns, cracked ribs. Doctor testified, chronic abuse. Coercive control. Neighbors took the stand. Mrs. Ramirez cried, we heard her beg for her life. We failed her before. Not now. Mr. Chen played his doorbell video, Marcus dragging Zara inside. Ex-victims testified. 1. He isolated me, then threatened videos. Same pattern. Marcus's defense attorney, expensive suit, calm voice, argued, context. Mutual arguments. Recordings edited. My client has anger issues, needs treatment, not prison. Cross on Zara, you recorded him without consent? Zara met his eyes. I recorded to survive. He threatened to kill me if I left. Defense tried, you have anxiety. Psychiatric history. Zara, developed after 2 years of terror. Not before. No more questions. Marcus took the stand. Charming at first. I loved her. I lost control sometimes. But she attacked me that night. Prosecutor played his own laptop video, him setting up hidden cameras. He crumbled. That was, for security. Jury didn't buy it. Closing arguments. Prosecutor, this is not passion. This is predation. A man who used power, money, charm to destroy women. 5 victims. Mountains of evidence. 1 should be enough. Defense, weak. Complex relationship. Treatment, not incarceration. Jury deliberated 4 hours. Guilty. Aggravated assault. Battery. Extortion. False report. Revenge porn threats. Marcus collapsed in his chair. Sentencing, 22 years, no parole for first 12. Zara sobbed, relief, not fear. Outside, cameras flashed. Zara spoke, I was silent too long. But truth isn't silent. If you're hurting, speak. You're not alone. Eleanor hugged her. You did it, child. 8 months later. Zara moved to a bright 3rd-floor apartment across town, large windows, sunlight all day. No shadows. No thin walls carrying screams. She decorated slowly, plants, soft blankets, photos of family. No more long sleeves. Therapy twice a week. Scars, physical and invisible, fading. She started a blog, Walls That Speak. Anonymous at first. Then brave. She wrote about red flags, safe recording, neighbor power. Thousands read. Messages poured in, you saved me from staying silent. Eleanor visited Wednesdays. They drank tea on the balcony, talked about normal things, movies, recipes, dreams Zara had buried. One Tuesday, Zara called, Auntie, come over. I have something. On the table, final divorce decree. Signed. Sealed. I'm free, Zara said, voice steady. Legally. Emotionally. I'm free. They hugged. Happy tears. Zara's book deal came next, a small publisher, but real. Behind closed doors, how one night changed everything. Advance enough to breathe easy. She gave talks at shelters, colleges. Abuse doesn't always scream at first. It whispers. Isolates. Controls. But one voice can break it. The other victims healed too. One started a nonprofit for immigrant women facing abuse. Another returned to college. Marcus? Prison. Appeals denied. His empire gone. Connections evaporated. The building? Changed. Neighbors created a safety fund, emergency money for anyone in trouble. Doorman trained to spot signs. Captain Reynolds was investigated, suspended, retrained. Friendship blinded me, he admitted publicly. One evening, Eleanor and Zara sat watching the city lights. Zara, I thought justice would feel like revenge. It feels like peace. Eleanor smiled. Peace is the real victory. Zara took her hand. You didn't give up. You used every year of your life to protect me. Thank you, Auntie. Eleanor squeezed back. That's what family does. We protect. We speak. We stay. If you're reading this and feel trapped, tell one person. Record safely. Neighbors might be waiting to help. Silence protects no one. Speaking saves lives. Thank you for following Zara and Eleanor's story. If it touched you, like, comment your city and time, I'd love to know where you're watching from. Share if it could help someone. Healing begins when the walls finally speak. The end.